Welcome inside AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, the site of Canelo Alvarez's knockout win over Billy Joe Saunders. I'm Chris Mannix, here with the former super middleweight champion Carl Froch and Shaft or Edgar Berlanga, the super middleweight contender. Very nice attire you got going on here for this one.
Thank you.
I'm with you. We just saw another brilliant performance by the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Carl, you and I called the fight, so I'm going to start with Edgar. Edgar, what did you think of how Canelo fought?
For me, it was an amazing performance. I expected that from Canelo. He broke him down little by little. He was getting some. Billy Joe was doing a lot of movement, which I expected, which I knew, and I told everybody that he was going to do it. Obviously he's fighting in a 24-by-24 ring. Canelo broke him down, man. I knew Canelo was looking for a shot, and he landed the right uppercut and fractured his eye.
Carl, this used to be your weight class. What did you think of the way Canelo fought?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite devastating in terms of the way when he backed up Billy Joe and he put them power shots together. They were devastating shots. You could see and hear at ringside when they landed, they was having an effect. Billy Joe did well to cope with the pressure and intensity. He blocked a few of the body shots. A couple of the head shots didn't really get through the guard. He never really got caught clean. But you see, as soon as Canelo stepped up the pace slightly and started to land with a bit more accuracy, the damage was done. And there was still another 12 minutes to go. So I think the writing was on the wall. It was a shame that the fight ended the way it ended because it was close. I mean, some people say Canelo had it ahead. Yourself, you had it scored to Billy Joe Saunders. And, rightly so, there's no real argument. You're going to get an argument, but there's no real argument because you see what you're seeing. You're seeing Billy Joe being busy, landing the jabs, landing combination punches. So he deserves to win the round if he lands more punches. But bottom line was Canelo stepped it up. He was too strong, too powerful. He was very poised. He took his time. And, yeah, great performance. And unfortunately for Billy Joe, he was on the end of a bad injury there in the end.
Edgar, you are a young rising fighter in this 168-pound division. That is the king of the 168-pound division right now. When you watch him, and as a fighter that's still learning, what are you looking at?
Just technique. He has a lot of experience. And I've seen him grown as a fighter throughout all his fights. For me, it was the fight with Floyd Mayweather that took him to another level. He learned a lot from that fight. It wasn't really a loss, but a lesson. And, each and every fight, he kept getting better and better and better. His foot movement, his head movement is amazing. He's a wonderful fighter. He's the pound-for-pound king right now.
Carl, let's talk about Billy Joe Saunders and how it finished. I mean, Billy Joe came in with a lot of bravado, was determined in this fight, then retires on his stool at the end. What was your reaction to Billy Joe saying no more?
If I'm honest, I never liked somebody to retire on the stool. I always say one more round. You're looking at a guy who's fought with broken ribs. I've gone into fights with a broken rib and a perforated eardrum. I broke my hand quite bad a couple of times and I've gone on to win the fight. But what I will say is an eye injury is different. I've had a small scratch on my cornea and it was horrific. It was horrible. And I managed to get through the last part of the round and go straight to the hospital and get it sorted. But if you get a damaged or torn retina, if you get an orbital fracture, whenever I've seen that injury, it's a fight-ending injury straight away. He was blinded in that eye, so, or if not blind, a double or triple vision with an orbital eye socket fracture. I've spoken to Kell Brook after his injury. It happened on 2 occasions against Golovkin, against Errol Spence, I believe. And my older brother also got an orbital eye socket fracture. I mean, it's a bad injury. So, when you take that into account and the fact that transpired at the end, I mean, it's not official yet, but it looks like it's an orbital fracture. So you can't really take anything away from him. He came here tonight, he performed. He put the shots together. He was under the cosh. He was getting hit with big shots. He was under pressure, and he coped with it. But in the end, he got took out by the stronger, powerful, more experienced king of the division.
Edgar, what did you think of Billy Joe's performance? I might have been the only person on the planet that had Billy Joe winning, and thank you, Twitter, Instagram, and every other social media outlet for letting me know. But what did you think of the way Billy Joe fought, and what was your reaction when you saw him retire?
For me, it was, he was moving a lot. He was holding. But like I said, I expected that from him. You caught a guy that could punch. This guy's, he's very strong. So, and usually you see Billy Joe fighting and he's always moving. He's moving his feet. So, I expected that from him tonight. Canelo did amazing. And you know, for the stoppage, man, it was I was a little upset. You know, I didn't know that his eye was his eye socket had broke or whatnot. You know, so I was upset at the fact that that he quit the way he did. But if he's saying that that his eye socket broke, then it's something serious. You know, I just got a little mad because I'm like, wow, it's in front of 73,000 people. And for him to go out like that, it was pretty sad.
Yeah, it was tough, and I'm sure Billy Joe will repeat that in his head over and over again in the weeks and months that come. Carl, let's look ahead to the potential unification fight. 4 belts on the line between Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant. For you, is that the only fight out there for both these guys?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, Plant, does he need any more experience? Does he need a bit more time? Maybe, maybe not. But that's the unification fight, so why not take it while it's there?
Well, let me ask you this. Let me follow up on that. Does anything you saw tonight, and you've seen Caleb Plant fight, does that tell you Caleb Plant would have a better chance than Billy Joe Saunders did?
You know, you always say he's got a potential and he's got a chance of winning. And we thought tonight that Billy Joe Saunders might be able to box and manoeuvre, put the shots together, not get hit with them big, powerful shots, which he ended up getting hit with. So you always give somebody a chance. But then the reality sets in and you watch Canelo go to work and you watch him get on his front foot and start to load the power shots, body and head. And you see and hear, you can almost feel the shots yourself, the devastation of his work. And when he puts it together, it's hard to pick anybody to beat him, it really is. I mean, the only loss is Floyd Mayweather Jr., and that's not a bad loss, really, and that was a long time ago as well.
Edgar, you've watched Caleb Plant as you've come up the ranks. He has a piece of the title that you want. What do you think of a Plant-Canelo matchup?
You know, Caleb Plant is an amazing fighter as well. I had sparred with him about 3 years ago. I had about 3 pro fights, and you know, it was an amazing sparring session. We did about 6 rounds, but you know, he's similar whatnot to Billy Joe. You know, uses his jab, sticks off the movement, uses his feet a lot. You know, tries to give the Pernell Whitaker type of style. You know, but like I said, man, being in front of Canelo is a different story, man. You know, Caleb Plant is a wonderful fighter. Obviously, he has the IBF title, World Championship, so he's definitely a good fighter.
Carl, we know how boxing politics get in the way of big fights, but if you're Caleb Plant, don't you have to make that fight? There's nothing else out there for you, right? I mean, this is not only a boatload of money, but legacy on the line here. You can't let friction between networks and promoters get in the way of this, can you?
No, you're right. If you're serious about the game and you believe in yourself, then you want to get all the belts, don't you? All the marbles, as I say in England. You want to get to the top, and that's the fight that's there potentially for him. So why not? Exactly, why not?
Edgar, Canelo says he's going to stay at 168 for a long time now. You eyeing that prize?
Oh yeah, of course, man. You know, listen, I tell everybody this, and I was in the fan. You know, I'm front row, and shout out to all the Mexican fans here, man. They showed me tremendous love tonight, and they kept telling me, you know, Canelo, you and Canelo. You know, Puerto Rico versus Mexico is the biggest rivalry. And the way I'm going right now, I see it happening in 2 years, man. You know, God willing, everything goes right. You know, he stays on the winning course, I stay on the winning course. And, man, it's going to be amazing for the culture. You know, Puerto Rico versus Mexico is nothing better than that.
No question about it. One of the best rivalries in all of boxing. We'll stick with DAZN over the next couple of days. We'll have a whole lot of content on the platform, on YouTube, on the social channels. For Carl Froch, Edgar Berlanga, I'm Chris Mannix. We'll see you next time on DAZN.